What's up, my friends? I hope all is well. I have another interesting video for you. I think that this will have long-lasting effects on your life and your outlook on life. So how to avoid letting yourself down. Because I let myself down many times, and I'm sure you have too. So I compiled a list of things that just kind of got in my way, that I allowed to get in my way, that I allowed to keep me down. So first thing is kill all expectations. Now there's only but so much that we can control in life, and for the rest we need to let go. Okay? And in terms of, let's say, being in a relationship or trying to get into a relationship, there's no telling where this woman's heart is going to be, where this person's heart may be, or which route this person may take. But even if you get all signs pointing to the fact that you may end up in a relationship with this person, people are flaky. You know, people are fickle. There's no telling until you're there. You know, there's no telling that you're going to get this particular job until you have it. You know, there's no telling that your books are going to sell until they do. And I think that you should be more so focused on the process of it all, and not get lost in what could be, because that sets us up for failure. And when we have such high expectations and things don't go according to plan, it can be so debilitating that we may not try ever again. Now, like I said, I do believe in having an idea of what you want out of life. You know, having an idea of what would be great for you, and you definitely visualize certain things. But you also need to have it in your mind that no matter what you plan or how you plan, things may not turn out according to. So that's all I'm saying. Definitely dream big. Definitely dream higher. But don't fall victim to having all these expectations, especially when a lot of it is out of your control. So the second thing, plan. When you do plan, follow through. Okay? So if you set out to do X amount of things per day, hopefully it's realistic. It's not something that's going to overwhelm you in a way where you just get nothing done. You want to resolve to check everything off that list. Now, of course, you want to put the harder things first, so your day gets easier as your willpower starts to diminish. But the feeling that you get towards the end of the day when you reflect on it and you say, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and do that, it's a bit deflating. And then that feeling carries over into the next day, as opposed to, you know, checking everything off the list, everything that you set out to do, that you truly wanted to do for that particular day. That carries over to the next day as well. So now you feel motivated for the next day. Okay, what's next? You know, what am I going to put checks next to today? You know. So that's definitely one thing that I noticed, that I'm definitely hard on myself, and especially so when I don't set out to do everything that I plan. When I don't follow my plans. Okay, when I don't take hold of the things that I can control. I take that very personally, and I should, and you should. And the next one is no procrastination. Now, it's no secret. Time is just going by so fast. It's just, I mean, an hour is like a minute now. I mean, we're already halfway, and almost halfway there towards the end of the year, man. It's just, it's hard to grab it all, to grasp it all. It's somewhat scary. But the scariness of it all should be a great motivator. It should be your excuse as to why you cannot bullshit with the bullshitters. Why you cannot be the person that you was just last week, just yesterday. The reason why you got to expand on who you are, practice better time management skills, and leave the entertainment shit for the end of the day, the end of the week. Because right now, it's serious business. We will never have this moment again, my friends. You will never have this moment again. And that's why I try not to play around with you when I'm giving you these videos. Because you're giving me your time, so I want it to be of great value, okay? No procrastination. You don't want to look back on your life 10 years, 30, 50 years down the road and say, damn, I wish I could have did this with the time that I had to do that. Guys, I want to tell you something, man. Being a father is one of the greatest joys that I could have ever imagined, that I never imagined for myself. But, you know, there's definitely a big part of me just missing those days when I didn't have to dedicate time to this. But when I didn't have time, when I wasn't a parent, I was taking a lot of that time for granted, and that's the thing that I look back on with such resentment. And I'm like, oh, I didn't have this. You gotta forgive me. I hope my daughter never sees this, but you know, I didn't have this ball and chain back then. I could run free. I could run wild. I could go disappear for days. I could cut my phone off and things like that. But I can't do that anymore. You know. So I'm tied to her, and my resentment, you know, is it's definitely not robust at all. It's definitely not strong. It's slight resentment because it's just me looking back at all the time that I pissed away. I procrastinated and tried to hold off things for tomorrow. And that's what I want to get through to you, is that tomorrow may never come, or you may never have a better opportunity than now. You don't need to be sitting around waiting for things to get better, you know, because it can get worse. Okay? No procrastination. No procrastinating. I mean, I can make a whole video about this one, and I probably will. The next thing is to set out to do everything that you want to do. So similar to what I was speaking on about the plans, this is more so overall, big picture, your whole life. And you can't let anybody try to put doubt in your mind because oh, you're getting older, and you know. This is one thing that I do. I keep putting this arbitrary ass window on my life. I'm saying, oh, you're almost 30, so you know, I guess you can't do that anymore since you're almost 30, because I guess that just means you're a senior citizen. And I guess there's just this goddamn rule that the older you get, the less you should be able to do. But fuck no, okay? Fuck arbitrary, okay? A lot of these unwritten rules were just made by a bunch of unhappy ass people, or people who want to stay in control. But this is my life. I stay in control. This is your life. You stay in control. If you in your goddamn 30s and you still want to rap, you still love it, you still want to get better at it, then do it, okay? If you want to go exploring, go exploring. Everything that you always wanted to do, you go out and do it. Even if it doesn't reach the type of success that you wanted it to have, you still do it, okay? If you want to go back to school, go back to school, okay? It doesn't matter if you're there with 18-year-olds, 22-year-olds. Go, because it's important to you, okay? Fuck the narratives. Fuck what everybody else got to say. Tunnel vision. That's what it's all about. Because again, you don't want to be at the end of your life. You don't want to be in your deathbed, you know, focusing on or ruminating on, damn, I should have done this. Or because I actually look this up on the list of top regrets of people in their deathbed is that, oh, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have spent more time with my family. And another one of the top regrets is I wish I didn't pay attention to other people's opinions. Boom, there you go. You can save yourself decades of hurt by taking that all in right now. You don't have to fall victim to other people's opinions. You are a unique individual. You are meant to stand out. You are meant to do great things. You are meant to do things that other people don't understand because it's not for them. It's for you. It's your calling. Okay? So get that through your head. Set out to do everything you always wanted to do. Understand, even though time is going by fast, you don't have to get it all right now. So you don't have to let it all overwhelm you. You know, right now you can just focus on a couple things that you want to do right now. Do it to the best of your ability. Get great at it. Tire yourself out. Exhaust yourself. Then move on to the next thing. You know, just start incorporating more and more things that you always wanted to do in your life. Okay? You have that right. As a human being, you have the same rights as anybody else. No excuses. Okay? You know, this is I make videos like this to encourage you all to really go out there and grab your life. You know, it's for you to grab. So the next one. Oh, I just kind of mentioned this, but don't buy into everyone else's opinion of you. It'll keep you small, and it'll keep you small, trying to please the world, trying to make everybody happy, trying not to piss people off. You know, I might get a little shit about this, but one thing I like about Donald Trump is that he just doesn't give a fuck. Whether if he's a bigot, whether if he's right, wrong, ignorant, whatever. He doesn't give a fuck. And guess what? If somebody like Donald Trump can have millions of supporters, I'm sure you'll be just okay by saying, okay, fuck your opinion, I'm gonna be about me. I think you'll be just fine, okay? Now, I don't want to speak to the man's character because I never met him, but hopefully you do have great character. And even more so, I would tell you to say, man, you know what, fuck their opinion. What matters to you? Alright? No matter how much of a good person you are, no matter how much good you put into this world, there will always be people to oppose you. But so long as there are people to oppose you, there will be people who will side with you, okay? Now, hopefully you live for more than just yourself, and you will have people to back you up. But at the core of it all, no one's opinion should dictate where you're going to go in life. You know, simply put, I just told you one of the top 5-10 regrets of people in their deathbed, paying attention to other people's opinions. And you got to understand, most people are going to play small, so what type of advice they're going to give you? They're going to advise you to play small. And I would discourage that very much so. You know? Because playing it small is not natural at all. You know, more on that later. So the next thing is don't be selfish. I already kind of alluded to this, but it's not all about you, my friends. We will not inherit this earth. We already have, you know. We already have it right now. So while we're here, we might as well soak up as much information as we can, learn as much as we can, create as much as we can, become more resourceful so we can give as much as we can, because the future generations will inherit this earth, and we want to set the next person up better than the way we had it. It's quite interesting because you know, you just learn like little life lessons everywhere you go. But when I was working in construction, I had one of the foremen named Micah tell me, like, you know, because, you know, when it's time to leave, I just like to leave right on time and things like that, even earlier. But he said something interesting to me, and that I just said, but I want to double down on that, is that, you know, set it up for the next person. You know, put the next person in a great position to succeed. It was like, you may be that person, you know, or somebody may be setting you up to be in a great position, which has happened to me. And I think a great deal of our existence in this life is to make the lives of others better, to give selflessly. Now, obviously, you do have to make time to be selfish, of course. You do have to put yourself first. You do have to fill up your cup. But after you fill up your cup, it's no use in trying to fucking just overrun it with water. You know, when you washing dishes and the goddamn water fill up and just keep going, it's like very wasteful. So give what you can. Keep others in mind. Build other people up. You know, pull people up. You know, just simply put. The next one. Always be honest with yourself. Okay? Don't be afraid to face the truth, because that's going to help you get to where you want to be. That's going to help you sleep at night. You know, you don't have to always be so defensive when there is a chance that you are incorrect in the way that you go about certain things, in the way that you treat people, and your plans. Okay? You don't need to be telling yourself how smart you are and how you never fail and all this and that when it's just not true. When it's simply not true. You don't need to try to convince yourself that you worked as hard as you could, that you tried your best when you just didn't. Admit that you didn't do your best. Admit that you don't know everything, because you don't. And the more that you learn, the more you will start to realize that you really just don't know everything. And that will free you up. That will allow you to let things go. To resist the urge to put your hands in everybody else's life and focus your opinion towards them. The conscious mind can only focus on one thing at a time, or select few of things. But that being said, you have to shift your focus towards that which is relevant to you and that which is the truth. Okay? Because I don't know why this is the case, but society has a lot of us thinking that we have to portray a type of image to get a desired outcome. And maybe in a short term that works, but over the long haul, you lose yourself completely. You lose your identity. You're susceptible to whatever's trending, wherever the birds flock. You know, and if you pay attention to a flock of birds in the sky, they all go this way and that way. You know, they can feel where the next person's going, boom, boom, boom. And then every once in a while, when the lead bird gets tired, he goes to the back and he allows somebody else to lead. But that won't be the case for you. You'll always be following the flock of birds. You know, wherever they move you, wherever the news tells you, whatever the commercials tell you to buy, whatever the news tells you to think, whatever the goddamn, you know, whatever the people say is hot, whatever they say is trending, whatever they say you should wear, and you'll always be in that box, and you'll always be unhappy, because you'll never know who you are. You'll never know, because you're too busy, you know, following the crowd, attaching yourself to them, and that's your identity, and you're not being honest with who you are, who you could really be. And a lot of us really don't know, because we don't take that time to sit down and sit with that information, to be alone, to journal, to meditate, to go through her on our own, to discourage using a filter, you know. And I've got myself in a lot of trouble by being honest with other people and myself, but I sit with that hurt and I work through it, and I understand that this is the process that I must take, that I must do, that I must endure to learn discernment. It's very imperative. Okay? You have to be honest with yourself in order to be honest with other people. And if you end up losing some friends and pushing relatives aside as a result of that, then so be it. I already told you can't please everybody else. Go ahead and try it. Mother Teresa is known as one of the most selfless people of all time, and towards the end of her life, she questioned if it was all worth it. She died unfulfilled. So you tell me. Next thing, I alluded to it earlier, but I can't stress it enough. Dream big, okay? That's the natural thing to do. Goddamn trees around me, they just keep growing until they don't, okay? Goddamn dog gonna bark and fucking chase after whatever it is until it doesn't. okay? And like I heard Les Brown say, but the humans are the only people who will put a limit on themselves. Like, we're so smart, we're so much, we're so goddamn witty and crafty and all this shit that we can trick ourselves into being dumb as hell, trick ourselves into fucking capping all types of potential, putting ourselves in this little small ass box. And it's not like we really want to be in the box either. That's the fucked up part about it, is that we don't really want to be in the box. And we're afraid to dream big for fear of something that I mentioned earlier, other people's opinions. But again, my friends, most people are unhappy. Don't pay attention to unhappy ass motherfuckers unless they try to tell you what not to do in regards to what got them to where they are as far as being unhappy. Okay? That's the only bit of advice that I'm gonna take for unhappy people. Okay? I don't need unhappy people telling me how I should go to college or, take this little fucking narrow ass route. Okay? I don't mind taking bumps going left and right and this and that. That's a part of the journey. That's a part of the journey. A lot of things that I may set out to do may set me back. But ultimately, it's going to teach me what's not going to work, what's not working. Okay? You can't learn those things by taking the route that's fucking laid out for the average person, because that doesn't work. It just looks like it does. A nice little stable paycheck after working fucking 40 hours a week at least, building somebody else's dream up. But when you gonna build your fucking dream up? When you gonna make time for your dreams? When you gonna set out on your own quest? When you gonna be a hero of your own life? When you gonna save yourself? You already unhappy. The way I see it, if you're going to be unhappy, you might as well be unhappy working on your own goddamn shit as opposed to feeling like a goddamn slave. But that ain't the life that I want, man. I never like being on the job and somebody who bleed the same way as me going to talk to me any type of way, knowing damn well if we were on the streets, it'll be a fucking fight. Okay? And they hiding behind shit like that. And I'm forced to hide behind my role. Now, if I did have that role, I wouldn't treat people that way. I wouldn't talk to people any type of way. I understand people got their own shit. I want to keep their energy as high as possible, so once they leave a job, they can go work on their dreams. My friends, guard yourself. Guard yourself. There's a lot of dream killers out here, okay? There's a lot of people just thinking too small. I say you cut them the fuck off before they even know what hit them. I say you cut them off before they even become a problem. I got people in my life, I listen to how they talk. I listen to their conversations. I listen to how they dream, if they do. And that's how I go about if I'm going to spend time around them or not. Because the common thing right now is you are average of the 5 people you hang around and things like that. That may not be 100% true, but it definitely is true, because the people that you put around you are definitely influential, just like the books you read, just like the television that you watch. It's all programming. And when you do low vibrational things and you're hanging around low vibrational people, that it recycles itself. It puts you in the habit of doing low vibrational things. We say, well, if they, they drinking and shit after work, I guess it's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking a beer every day. Ain't nothing wrong with smoking this weed and things like that. And not one particular thing that you can do is inherently bad for you, but it's getting you further away from the more productive habits. So when you're used to hanging around people who dream big, and let me give you an example, okay? I made a friend with somebody that I met the day after I got fired in a thrift store, and he showed me how to resell books and things like that. One thing that he told me, as I think we became friends pretty quickly, but one thing that he told me that I never heard from any other friend is that when you hit a roadblock, dream bigger. Okay? See, that's the information that you get from people who dream big. Okay? From people who don't dream so big, their advice would be, well, I see you got financial troubles. Did you try filling out some applications? You know, I see you hate this job. Did you try filling out some applications? You know, just things like that. And that will only recycle your unhappiness. You know? So whatever you want to do, whatever you want to set out to do, my friends, resolve to do it. Plan to do it. Take the first step. Take the second step. Take the third step. But always realize that it starts with a step. And finally, my last piece of advice to tie this all together is grow. Okay? Look, I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are in life. But this I do know. You don't have to be who you were. Okay? If you notice something was wrong in your life, you notice something is wrong in your current situation, it does not have to be that way. It doesn't matter the lenses from which other people see you. People are going to see you the same way your whole fucking life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you grow up to be if you turn out to be a doctor after being a fucking gangbanger as a teenager, as a fucking 15-year-old. Some people just still gonna see you as that, and you gotta learn to be okay with that. But understand, people's opinions of you can only get in your way if that's what you focus on. They're never a bother when you learn to shift your focus. And speaking on shifting your focus, because that's something that I've been doing. Whenever you start to entertain something that's negative, something that brings you down, this is your reminder right here. This is me reminding you that when that hits your mind, you have to consciously take that and say, this is not relevant. Question its relevancy. You say, this is not relevant. This is more relevant right here. This is my mission right here. I always got to pay attention to the mission. Always pay attention to the good. Always pay attention to the good side of this picture and not what people are trying to throw at me. Not the negativity of yesterday. That's not what I want anymore. They can have that shit. Everybody tied to that fucking negative shit of yesterday. Everybody who chooses to see me under a negative light, even though I'm trying to do good and I'm putting good into this world, they can all be dead to me. And that's the route you gotta take. You have to grow. In order to grow, you can't do this shit with unfertilized soil, okay? The negativity is unfertilized soil. What you got going on right here, what you trying to build upon, this is fertilized soil. You need to focus on that, or it's going to end up being just like that. It's going to end up being just like the past. It's going to end up being just like the negative ass motherfuckers that you trying to separate yourself from, and they love it. They are weeds, okay? They are weeds. And don't let weeds get in your fucking way. Don't let them fucking stunt your growth. You pull them fucking weeds out from the goddamn root. And be done with it all, man. So I hope this video helped you out. Just never forget, man. Always focus on growth. And you will never let yourself down, man. Because letdowns will come, setbacks will come. But you always got to pick yourself back up. And you can't just sit back and wait for other people to do it. Because that will just inevitably let you down in itself. Alright, take care, people.